Welcome back. It's time for us to write a nice continuous integration config file so that we're actually doing something meaningful here. The first thing I'm going to do is let's have the first job called build. And this build will use a Docker image. And I'm going to use, since in our project we're using Node, I'm going to use the CircleCI Node 8.9. And you can find out what kind of CircleCI images you can use. You just go to Docker Hub and search for CircleCI. But I'm going to keep Node 8.9, even though Ruby works as you just saw. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is for the steps, I'm going to say check out the repo, and I want it to run instead of just echo, or we can leave this here. We're going to say npm installing. And we're going to add another line, another run, that is going to actually run npm install. Because remember, npm install means it will check all the packages, making sure that everything can be installed. And then finally, once we have run npm install on their server, we have all the files necessary for our RoboFriends project. I'm going to say run, and I'm going to give it an external environment or environmental variable. We're going to just say CircleCI equals to true. And this is not going to do anything right now. But in our project, if we had some if statements or some conditions that we want to execute, if we're running the code in CircleCI, we can do that this way. And then I can just say npm run build. Because remember, create React app is going to throw any errors for us if this isn't working. And if npm run build succeeds, well, that means we can build our project. That's probably the most important job we can have, that is to build. The next one is perhaps test. We want to test our code and actually run our tests. If I do npm test here, we want to make sure that, yeah, I can test it on my local environment. But just in case I forget to run these things, let me run that again. Just in case I forget to run these, every time I make a pull request, automatically CircleCI is going to test this for us so that somebody on my team won't even check my pull request unless all the tests pass. And this way we make sure that if my modifications made somebody else's tests fail, I know that I need to fix them. So in the test, I'm again going to use the Node 8.9 image. And the steps I'm going to take with this one will once again be to run npm install. And I'm going to leave the run here and just say testing stuff. And then the next npm run is going to be npm test. Nice and easy. And you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to add a completely meaningful test or meaningless test. And you can imagine here, you can add any TypeScript checking that you might want, any other tests that you want to check for, any commands that you have in your package.json, you can use to actually test or to check out your script. For example, if you have a npm test coverage, you could add a coverage job here where it checks to make sure that your test coverage is over, let's say, 80%. And if it's not, and if it falls below that, well, it's going to fail. We can do so many things with it. In here, I'm just going to simply say, check out, and then give it a run command of just a simple echo command that says, hello. Completely useless, like I said. But now I can demonstrate something fun. In the jobs here, I'm going to rename this to something more useful, like build, test, and lint. Because create React app won't let me npm run build if the linting doesn't pass. And for the jobs, I'm going to say I want you to do the build job. And I also want you to do the test job. But also, I'm going to do something fun here. I'm going to say that in here, the test job requires the hi there job to finish. What does that mean? Well, now I tell it build and test are going to run in parallel. Oh, and let me fix that. We want to do build hi there. Let me go over that. So we have the jobs and we want to do build hi there and the test job. However, the test job requires the hi there to succeed. So what's going to happen is build and hi there are going to run in parallel on two separate containers. However, the test, which if we didn't add the requires, would have ran again in parallel, all at the same time on different containers. Instead, it requires the hi there. So until hi there echoes hello, the test container cannot start. And you can start to imagine the type of workflows that you can do with this. Oh, and I just realized that here at hi there, we have to make sure that we say the Docker image. Make sure we have that. And these have to be the steps. All right, so now that we have this all set up, make sure that everything looks nice and just making sure all our indentation is right. Like I said, with YAML files, it's really important that we actually have that. We also want to make sure that the requires is indented properly, like so. Again, we'll save that. Let's get out of here and create, let's just do get status to make sure that we've made those changes. I'm going to create a new branch called testing. And in here, we'll just git add, git commit, circle CI test, and then finally git push origin testing. Let's see if that works. Let's go back. There you go. There's our pull request. And we'll just say create pull request. All right. Look at that. Hi there is running. So now test is running and then build is running as well. Let's go check out Circle CI and see what it's doing. We have our RoboFriends testing and look at that. We have the success that happened. That is just echoing hello. If we go back to the workflow over here, we see that, all right, so hi there succeeded in 1 second, and now it's running the test. And all of them seem to have passed. Test took 34 seconds, build 40 seconds. If I click on it, yeah, looks like everything passed. Everything is good. Going back to the builds, I see that everything's passing. If I go back and I refresh or wait a little bit, all checks have passed. Everything is good. Merge pull request. Now, the interesting thing here is that this is going to fail every time I now make a pull request and any of the tests or builds fail. For example, let's say I want to create a new component. Or let's say that in the counter button component, I'm going to change the initial state to 5. I'm going to save. And again, I'm going to git checkout master. And then from here, I'm just going to git checkout B. I'm just going to give it who branch. And I'm going to just git add, git commit, just a blank message, and then git push origin who. Oh, I have to actually give it a commit message. Let's try that again. I'm going to say who. That's better. Let's try that again. And this who request is going to fail because if I run npm test, it's going to say, your tests are not going to pass because we have some tests that expect the state to be 0. Very cool. All right, let's take a break, and I'm going to add one last step to our continuous integration in the next video. Bye-bye.